sometimes it's just dragging the sound. Everything that you want to sing with the airport is encapsulated in that sound. It sends a reverberating effect across the territories. You know, your voice might not go back, but the sound. There's no bandwidth to the sound. You know, in the ancient past, man has always had this knack, this hunger for competition, to subdue and to conquer, take territories, whether it's your father's land, it's not your father's land, your ancestors' land. Even though sometimes you have your own kingship and then you have your own kingdom, and you have a specified mass land area for you and your kindred and your subjects. But see, this greed of man has always existed to want to compete for territories. And so Alexander the Great will look and say, it's not like they are running out of population for plants or money. We need to conquer this other. So it has always been ingrained in men to fight for territories. So if you are here now, there is nothing that you're fighting for. Check yourself. It's not even greed. It has always been before. And it is that even before now, spirits have been fighting for territory. If our own creation seems to be very territorial in nature, you visit the jungle and then you see the camel is fighting for his territory. The lion is putting marks upon his territory, say this is my territory. The fishes are saying this is my territory. It's only some of us that want to just have 20,000 naira job and then have a family and so it's well. Territories is something that is deeply ingrained in the root of creation. Territories. And so, what's the cause of the major wars today that we see? Even if you go back history, African history, and then if you check the main cause for colonization, it's territory. It's territory. The excuse that we came to find natural resources in Africa. It's not natural. They have natural resources. The one has not depleted, but let's check this and that. Since these people, they are not well organized, we don't see them as really educated. They are just vulnerable. Let's do them and then subdue conquer. So the mandate from Genesis, subdue conquer, but only now it's twisted. So whether in the kingdom, outside the kingdom, the hunt for territories exists. It is embedded in the DNA of mankind. Man is territorial by default. So if you know that man is territorial by default, now if I ask now, where is your territory? Where have you marked? Someone can answer. So you have not even started. Maybe you think the territory is the house there. You see, there are certain things that you need to understand, and if you get this basic knowledge, it will open you up into, at least you begin to understand the fragments, what life truly means. It's unfortunate that many people are not conscious of this, but spirits are very, very conscious. That's why you say, what's their big deal? Do you think the spirits, they don't have habitation? The ones that are coming to cause trouble on the earth, they are not uncomfortable with their habitation. They have habitation, but the need to conquer and subdue them. If Mars today has a civilization, its spirit will still go to Mars to want to express civilization. Can you imagine? It is in the root of all creation, the need to conquer. Many billionaires that you see today, this guy has $200 million. Why is he waking up 4 a.m.? My God, you should be in bed till 10 a.m. having chest. Are you telling me there are no other intelligent people? Of course, you can just put someone assistant CEO. In fact, you don't need to write. You WhatsApp your ideas. This is my ideas for the money, my billion and ideas for the money. Then you WhatsApp your assistant. WhatsApp. You don't need to show up in the office. You don't need to hear something. But you see some of them, they sleep in the office. That is small couch in the office where they work overnight. Some of them times they work. Why? Why are they doing this? Even after being successful, the big corporations that we know today, after being successful and have so much work, so much impact, they are still pushing forward. For what? They can't get enough. Territory in land, territory in the mind space to colonize your thoughts, the way you dress, what you do, the things that you eat. Suddenly now your food is local food and this other food is called international food. It's international. It's international cuisine. Jesus. Territory. Territory. And the greatest territory that you can have is in the mind. Because whoever controls the mind has something. The grace by Adolf Hitler to conquer lands and there is nothing wrong with. How do you know that? See, if you read Adolf Hitler's story, he is not a German by default. His original ancestry was from Austria. He came from Austria. And then he rose, so I think he wanted to be a priest or something. Then he rose from there, migrated to Germany, and then he rose to the rank, and then what they call it, lieutenant or whatever. Then he rose to the top stuff. It's not like they gave birth to a silver spoon. The way Schwarzenegger came from, I don't remember his country now. Then he migrated to the US. From there, he entered into bodybuilding. He was world heavy lifter for like 2-3 times in the role, and then his physique was so, superhuman. For a 22, I didn't even think it was up to 23 or something like that. Then from there, this guy, you have the physique for a hero, a superhero, let's put you in, and then started getting those popular roles. One of the most popular roles I should know, Commando. Yes, Commando. At least you know those ones. So he rose from there, and then from that place, you think he would stop at being a famous minister. He ended up being governor of Zio. So from a migrant, and then he rose, and then what is happening there? It's unfortunate that you can stay in one place 25 years because maybe hunger is not beating you, or you have some level of results. You say, if it were so, after God had sent his son to die, and then maybe 1,000 people are carry all of them, why did you say go forward and spread? Why every day people are being called to demand? Why his territorial consciousness, his territory. See, the territory cannot be vacant. If you don't possess it, something else will possess it and possess you in that territory. There is no middle ground. Many people are possessing the territory that they are living. You have land occupant. You don't even own the land. You don't own the land because whenever spirits want to effect things on that land, you are part of the masses. Part of the masses. Territorial intelligence. The territory is everywhere. You must ingrain this mindset and this consciousness. One of the things I was curious to study about, and when I began to interact with entities, I began to try to find out their own mind, how it is, how their mind is. How do they think? There was a time I was interacting with one, and then when I asked him a question, I couldn't answer it, and then he just kept still for like say roughly maybe 45 seconds. I think it wasn't up to 45 seconds, roughly 45 seconds, and then I asked, I just discern what was answering. Wait, you can't answer my question. So your mind is like your mind is like it's hooked to a universal mind, or like a Google map. So what you are doing is like you are googling the universe to find the answers to my question. And then he said yes, you are correct. And another thing I studied about them, I studied, okay, so how do you guys, because from what I've read and from what I've studied, when I interact, I study, like in fact, I write books. Because I know spirits are very territorial in nature. So what kind of build, how you know it's territory that made some certain angels there? Because when the chief deceiver was deceiving all of them, he deceived them. You know what it is to be deceived? It means I will sell something to you. the way political parties come to deceive you during the election time. Yeah. I will sell something to you. So I will merchandise things. I will sell territories. If you follow me, you will have territories. Because every spirit is interested in you. Yes. So they want to do something. Most of the spirits that you are interacting with, they have their domain that they are ruling, especially the princes among them. The ones that are not ruling anything, that are just observing, go here, come here, come, yes or no, it's only yes or no, they can't interact. Those ones, they have a kind of wake up. I interacted to that level to find out you, why can't you press to higher than this or some? Why can't you want to develop more capabilities or features that you currently have? And he said, you can't develop any capabilities. He said, this is how you have been. So, because when I was interacting with him, he came by choice. And when he was a kind of, in fact, the interaction, will I say I regretted it because I began to feel it for the entity. He was so, when he was regarding me and the rest, and so these other entities that normally interact with our people, normally they are high entities, and then like that. I said, why can't you come to? They say we can't. So this is how Yahweh created us. So I now understood from the conversation that I had with him that there are certain entities that they don't have the possibility to want to develop a sort of hunger to manifest beyond their domain. They're just there like that. I call those entities yes or no. Because when I was even interacting, he had no answers. He said that one is just yes and no. You can't even strike intelligent conversation. So there are actually entities that in the realm of the spirit that don't even. There is breaking news in the realm of the spirit. How do you know? Our entities are not that as intelligent as we think. And so after I finished interacting, I now found out that there were certain entities that did not develop the mindset for conquest. It now made me understand that there are other entities that ingrained in them is the mind to develop the possibility of conquest. So the one that is able to develop the possibility of territorial conquest can easily sell an idea to the one that is just yes or no. Because in that day and time, these other creatures, their possibility or their understanding of the Godhead was to relate with the entity that brought a dimension of the Godhead to them. So whatever that entity says is yes and amen. That's the rule of law. So that's how many entities do it. Because the chief prince is involved in the rebellion. Were able to masquerade a kind of truth to them that was not complete truth. So they were deceived. It was like a campaign, a manifesto. Yeah. So I was now researching why do these people have, how do they have this sort of possibility to want to go? It's incredible. That's why when someone came to meet me once, I said, if you want to, not this theoretical dimension, you want to fly, you want to, next year, by this with natural skill. I do my graphic design and do from Flash. It says validation 20. That's the only thing I'm teaching throughout the year. Validation. That's everybody. Every day we'll be doing triple. Oh man. The designer is working on it. He's working on it with CDG. So there are certain things that make certain creation act repetitive, and that's a matter of what is included. So like I was saying, that when some people came to me, I said, if you want to explore this in God dreams and try to find out what is included first. Yeah. Try to find out what is included first. It's self-study. And then we spoken of ordination and all the things that you need to know about. And now I'm telling you one thing that is generic to mankind is territorial conquest. Territorial conquest. If you don't, this idea that I used to be there. No, I'm a shy, I'm a home boy. I feel like let me just play my room sharp, face me and face me, I face you. You see, it's not bad. I hope you get my inference, so I'm not saying don't stay. Of course, you move by your level. I'm misinterpreted. I'm trying to show you the scope of things because John the Baptist was living in a kind of face me, I face you, the backside of the desert, but the city was coming to
Yes.
It means that the guy that controls the city is in the backside of the desert.
Yes.
It's the territorial conquest. That territory was not even a land in the minds of men. So if you wanted a land, if you wanted a house in the mainstream Israel, you would have gotten it. Because he has already colonized.
That's it. And disciples.
Yes. It was his choice to stay in the backside. You didn't make any choice. Alright. Are we following?
Yes.
Priesthood. Everything that you see around us. You see this meeting now that we are is priesthood. How many months is this meeting now? Is it 3, 4 months? Is it up to 4 months? 5 months? This is 5th month. Okay. So story. Alright. 5 months ago, in this land, all the spirits they were enjoying themselves. They were having party, play what they like. Right? So God now called Apostle and said, yes, my son, now you are going to come to this place to raise me. Now, they were occupants here, enjoying themselves, some other church, whatever, manage them, but just and then you now came and now got that want to be open portals and disrupting everywhere here. You just came now to infringe on another territory. It's already a warfare. So the start of the meeting here was a signing of warfare. Anywhere that you see yourself moving to, in your workplace, in your business, the moment you sign to go and work there, you have started working. Oh, I just got a good job, and the money is good, but you don't understand. Because even where you are going to go and work was built on certain principles and legacy. If you are coming there and your own energy does not align with what they are doing there, you have already signed warfare. But you don't know. You say, wow, man, the grace is favorable. So you go there in grace, favor oil, and then you go and be working. You are working and then things stop working.
No.
I didn't know you can have a big salary, you can have a fat paycheck, but you don't see what you're doing.
True.
Can I go deeper?
Mikael. Should be the one.
Let us start this thing easy so that we can understand. Because it's very important that if you say that you are doing legislation over a territory, you are doing priesthood over a territory, there must be results and there must be shaking. Some people must be angry. Some spirit, there must be reaction. You say you are doing priest, nobody's angry, nobody's saying, well, I don't know, demons is my God. Your impact is not loud. They don't hear your voice. There was one time, several years ago, I remember, now what I'm saying now, don't do it. Do what your church says. But there were certain things that I stopped. I used to do them. Of course, if I say I'm here in the public garden, I can still do them. But me, I know that it will be very focus on the territory that I know that my experts covers. Alright? So it was one time, I think it was one of these several crises like that is happening in Nigeria. After the kick, and then everybody organized like this, and Shamala, and they start to decide the word of the Lord, 1,000, 1,000, blah blah blah, you understand? Alright. So when I was praying, blah blah. So I started interacting. The entity was sat on my chair. I was sitting on the chair and we were talking. Spoke about the almost 2 hours activity. So I now began to ask questions. Now, what I would say now, don't how many Satan do we have? Have you seen the person that is called Satan? You know you have not seen him. Do you agree? Anything that, do you know that a demon comes to torment you? Say Satan came to torment you. Why? The demon is Satan. The guy can, it's not, you see, the Satan is like a godhead.
Yeah. It's a body.
If you study ancient mythology, okay, for example, I don't remember what the culture is now, but in Hebrew, they refer to those, the guy called Baal, or the guy called Baal, Baal Bezebel. According to one side, that's it. If you go to different cultures, you'll find different things. And some of the description or some of the functionality of whatever, they don't really tell you. There's always a slight differential. But we'll go into those ones. So even the guy that calls Satan is operating like a body to something. Alright, so that night, then we were interacting and I said, okay, why is so and so happening in Nigeria and stuff, and then we got talking. Then I asked a very critical question because the moment you strike relationships with certain entities, it's always good to ask questions. Well, of course, you decide the type of entity you are talking to. For example, there's some angels that cannot answer your question. They can talk. They can even tell you this person's age or this person's something. They can tell you something. But, so after I read, I'll come back to it. There was a day after I read a lot of books. I've been reading a lot of books, tomorrow, not next tomorrow, not next week. Yes. So they're already in a state of torment by the world. There is a realm in which words are spoken and the manifestation is not tied to dates. It is already manifesting. It is only in your realm where to channel a path where that word can find manifestation. It can take you 7 days of priesthood according to how serious you are. That's why Daniel could be praying for 21 days, but the angel told him since day one, when you raise up your voice, I'll be there. But the channel, the expression of that answer, the pathway, there was a resistance there. That's why they're in that state. So when they go about now in their territorial conquest, they find a bit of solace. They find a bit of solace. At least they can conquer 1 or 2 grounds. But that can never make them satisfied. Can never make them sufficiently satisfied. So they have to conquer and keep conquering. And keep conquering. There was one quote I used to hear back then, from many years ago. Said satisfaction is the senior brother of death. Or something like that. Yes, satisfaction is the senior brother of death. The moment you get satisfied. Haven't you seen all those Olympians? All those marathon winners? As soon as the boat wins the marathon, the next thing, after celebrating maybe one day, they are back in the training. Yeah. The coach is like, oh, your next marathon is coming. Let's start preparing for 4 years. Let's start preparing. Let's start because you think you are a champion, but there's still another coach. It's all coming. There are other people waiting. If you study the ancient kings, they make sure that they always go after conquering lands. They always put system in place to secure the land because tomorrow there will still be another enemy trying to overthrow you from that.
It's territory.
That's why Ephesus could be overthrown after being conquered. And you say, no, your name is Samuel, right? Your name is Prophet Samuel. You are the mighty guy, right? You have conquered those. Through you, no Philistine can enter this land. We are waiting. Should you go? Yes. We are waiting. The moment Samuel stepped out, guess what happened? All the steins started rushing Israel.
The Stein family.
They started rushing Israel. Because why? The guy whose expanse of his soul covered that territory at home. And that's also another point to take. And that's the reason why we have discipleship classes.
Yes.
Unfortunately, not all disciples share your seed. That's why we are not blessed with this meeting. Not everybody has that. Oh, you think it's everybody that wants to leave their home and their comfort? Maybe 20,000 and 30,000 and leave it for like 4 days and then come here and come and be camping. I come and be praying.
I eat only once.
I eat only once. Everybody will not do that. That's why most of us that are right here, we were forged. We were taken through a training process. There was a process I went through in my training. What have I meant? There was a time in my fast, it was my sister. I'll be walking like this on the street. If the breeze blow like this, I'm going like this. If the breeze come like this, I'm going like this. She used to hold me to walk on the street. Because at that point in my life, nothing made sense to me.
Yeah.
Don't be looking at him and say, man, this guy can mention, this guy. There was a label that they put in. You put that label to your soul, crack. See, there's a crack in your soul. The determination, the zeal, because you don't know what is at stake. So when we say meditate now, maybe any small thing like that, or after you carry the ginger from here now, I just say this powerful message. In fact, I'm going on a 20 days fast. After today, then you come back. Something has to happen. It doesn't, because, and again, I need to correct one misconception. People say, if you are a spiritual guy, if you are too serious, or you are too less than division, you don't go enjoy life, or you don't go flex, you don't go lie, okay? It's as lying as you come. Me, my own, I don't send anybody. When I want to be Mikael, I'm Mikael, and be free. But when it comes to spirituality, it's me. You can balance both.
Go deeper.
Thank you. I'm everywhere. I didn't let it. So, because one of the things that was sold to our youth was that the moment to become spiritual and all that, you have to. So there are many of us that are waiting to be born again when we are 40 years old. Like how I planned. I say, I don't finish cancer. This one will be face. Every time, how their face looking up because you are fasting, everybody knows they are fasting. Stuff like that. So it doesn't have to be so. You can be cool, you can have swag, but yet be spiritual. Be on fire. I think the older generation don't want to accept it. So, I can see that you wear messages. I don't think you are serious. You are wearing messages.
How can you be looking good?
How can you be looking good and be spiritual? Come on, this fine boy.
Say I'm not fast. See, this one, he doesn't know the way of fasting. How can you be fast and you are still paving hair?
But learn the way of the desert fathers.
Desert father.
Learn the way of dating me. Cavemen.
Cavemen.
You must
You
enter
are still
the
buying 3,000 naira perfume.
Why? So there are things that we must commit. I think I've been able to basically explain
Oh, you have done a lot.
territories, how that there's no more limitation for you now. Okay, this territory that I'm talking about is nice with you. Come and pray for Ebe, maybe it's not necessarily Ebe. Find out, of course, there's a place for corporate prayer, but for you, find out which prayer are you called to.
Yeah.
And begin to tackle it. Do you know that you can even create ideas for trends in your industry, your business? You can create ideas for trends. So it's not to say, it's a lot, the scope is wider than that. Let me start taking questions. If they're here. If they're here, questions. Where's it? If that's John on Sabbath. The territory can both be abstract, non-abstract. It can be a physical land, it could be Egbe, for instance, in which you are sensing the call or the summon to operate over. And I told you in the priesthood, there is the legislation, there is the coverage, there is the judgment, there is the administration, there is the introduction of trends, There are so many things. It's not just to pray and then you bind all the demons. But okay, you bind the demons. What do you do? Because you can't leave the space vacant. So there are intelligent interactions to do, and then it can be abstract. It could be the mind space. It could be tech things that you don't recognize as physical properties. It could be your field, your business, your working place, right? Where you work. You can engage territorial priesthood in those places. Find out what it is that is lacking there. Is the government of God gaining expression? You know, you can do things in the hearts of certain people that they did there and then they set other places on fire.
That's it.
But you only came to work as a banker.
That's it.
But you are doing more than the banking job. I think I read one, I watched one movie, and it was actually a Yoruba movie, an African magic one time, and there was a guy, right, in his youth, doing youth corporate service. So there was a place he and his roommates one time doing the corporate service. They were hungry. So there's an old woman who has a small farm, then a raggedy house, and then she rears dogs. DUCKS, dogs. She rears dogs, right? So these guys are like, wow, see, somebody else, like, let's catch me one by one. So it was actually the friend that raised him, and then bought one, and then he paid it, and then the guy entered, and he was like, where did you get this? I said, you just eat, don't worry where I get it. Shall eat, they shall eat. Then the guy that took his restaurant. So they saw the old woman as vulnerable, so my candidate, I said, let's keep on stealing this thing. So they went and then they were taking it back. After the woman counted her dogs. Like, why is one of my dogs missing? Yeah, the nigga may come, blah blah blah. Then she will lay a because. Another day again, another one will miss. Another day again. So the guy didn't know about this. Till several years later, after he had graduated, they are now married, they now had a daughter. And the daughter was seriously ill. It was when they now went for consultation, they now went to a shrine. The herbalist now revealed that this is actually what followed you for maybe 20 years ago. 20 years ago, this woman, you think that maybe she got money, but the stature that she has made a cause of it, because one of the dogs that people joined to eat is actually her children.
Her children?
Yes. The woman on the altar of stature has sacrificed children to enter into that posture where she is. But she's a poor woman. It's one of the things I told you guys past few months ago. But she has stature. Here she's poor. So it was now like, say he doesn't understand. Say they were just taking the meat and the rest, so the stuff like that. It was not like, okay, why did this thing not even happen from the world? Do you know that this unfortunate accident did not happen from day one? Because the establishment that he established, because he was not a successful man, the establishment that he established, that he employed people, there was a lady that was working in that organization that every day she intercedes for her boss and the company. So the lady's prayer was acting as a shield and a defense for the boss and the company. That's why 20 years the course could not take effect, but the course is still rotating. Like I told you, if you think territory is secure, people are seeing, they are waiting for you. When you either pass
very patient.
Demons are very patient. They are like, namaste. So, unfortunately now, this guy is over Sabi and the rest. Oh, I didn't like people are never walking. Shaking it on, he sacked the lady. When he sacked the lady, that was the beginning of his downfall, because now there is no more intercessor in your workplace. Then the courts now have permission to take effect. How do you know that some decrees are time sensitive?
Yes.
It still contribute to the weight we are talking about in the Territorial Conference. You know, you can make a decree now. After decreeing 1, 2, 3, 4 days, maybe 5 days prayer and fasting, you make a decree. On the 5th day, it is established. And then after some time, 1 month, the decree expires. Sorry to use that word. Then the things that you thought that you captured, you need to find the expression in English. It has never happened. You don't ask questions like, how did it happen? I thought we decreed this thing once and for all. where the word of the Lord is, there was power and then everything, eternal power and everything. But what did they do to overturn the decree? Because I've seen where they overturn decrees. We see that the thing is wide. So back to my story. And then so when the Abba is now revealed that this lady that you sacked was the one actually covering you and all that. They say, what shall I do now? What shall I do? Meanwhile, the man no stature. He doesn't get money. No stature, no nothing. And then, long story cut short, the daughter, when they were about to carry, because they had to locate the old woman to go and ask for forgiveness, as they packed the car in front of the woman's house, like the thunder just struck and a big palm tree fell down. The daughter died. Before they take her. But someone's word was floating, and there was no counter attack. The other lady that was an employee that stood as a counter against the word was able to counter the word, but she had to do it for a space of 3 years. Her stature did not even have the sufficiency to decree and announce once. It had to be a renewal consultant. So there are different levels of progression of stature. The expanse of the soul that enables the entity to guard the thing that you have spoken sufficiently. That's why the sermon will speak the word and investigate the stature.
Listen to the message.
Stature is gained by following a strict of things. Stature is not by prayer and fasting. You can go to the mountain donkey for prayer and fasting. I know people that pray and fast more than me. We get stories of them 600 days fasting. And till today in the guy's life, he's still solving problems. He still has problems. So what did you fast 300 days for? So it's not by prayer and fasting, it's by following a streak of dealings per time. And that's why you need to be sensitive. Once you know your ordination, that's the first step. Once you know your ordination, the streak of dealings will begin coming, and then you know how to follow in the pathway. There was a point in time where, on a certain day, I think after I was after I was ordained a prophet, I don't remember, because I was actually ordained a prophet, like for real, like what do you call it? Like officially prophet.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So you too.
But I repent from the.
I'm
in business. I was, do you know? Let me clarify something here. Sorry, please. Sorry, my name is Mikael. I was invited to this platform as a businessman, but I was only invited because I don't want to do things
So we have two business people.
There are no one or two things. That's why you are here.
not a businessman.
No, this one is a man of God.
Who is the man of God?
Man of grace.
Oh.
The man of grace. Thank you. So once you know your ordination, it's trick of genius. So that's so there was a time where I was in an open division and I began to see several doors. So it was a complication of speed running through several rooms all at a time. And so I think it's like 100 doors. Right? I think I reached a certain door. Tried again, I couldn't enter. Tried again, I couldn't enter. What happened? In fact, right there, it was complicated. See this door. That is this door. This next door. Try it. You need to learn to read and write. That was the prophetic complication. It means that your ability, if you see an ant, you don't mind lying down. Now when I sink yourself, whether your name is not your name, just take a natural form. In other words, don't put it on your head like this is who I am. You are who you are, but don't carry that. Maintain the sort of in a way that people can still. Not like fire dot Ozai. Guide yourself with fire. You know fire dot Ozai.
Yes.
You can guide yourself with fire. You know if you come that place. Talking now.
You collect.
So he was basically talking of putting your mind in a posture of seeking. So that even if you see an ant, you can learn from it. I can be in a place. Look, the places that I can go to this guy by fire church and this, and when they call for prayer, I'll follow them. And they any meeting, I'll follow them, and it doesn't change because I'll fling my head. I'm going to that state and I'm blending. I remember I was in a friend's house and we actually went to go and walk in Europe. So there's a point in my life I actually did interlocking the distance. So don't look me as one kind. So yeah. So in that place, and so when the Sunday came, the guy doesn't go to church. He doesn't go to so the sister now goes to church. So she came, with all the fire to go to church. I know, sorry, I don't know. I'm aware that we have some.
Yes.
So now I can't enter into the house of my father. You don't know we have created that system. Let a guy enter your church with slippers. See how you get everybody has to wear their clothes. Nothing wrong with wearing your clothes. Created a system that I have to, even if I know I have to.
For the camera.
Go to the choir. So, and so she started talking and lambasting and the rest. Go to church and blah blah blah. You know, the word of the Lord says in the book of Isaiah, the Lord that did this and that. The Lord that did that and this and that. I was listening. When she now says that, when I now said that, she was, I don't know if the lady is talking, especially if the lady has spoken out of this. It's very rude for you not to understand.
Yeah.
So they can take it.
Yeah.
So I text a long text that the only thing I can say is okay. Come on, this man. They know now, they know. So in the in the consciousness of being responsible, okay, then I contributed. Okay, so yeah, the Bible said, and then as I started talking, and then after I was done,
Oh, let the King of Glory flow through me.
now that one shocked me because she totally
Spot on.
there was nothing I said in my statement that, in fact, the way I even can't do anything. But after I finished that,
In your presence.
I tried to dissuade her. I said that she was convinced as a problem. I said, okay, let me tell you the truth. Actually, I'm not a prophet, I'm a pastor of my self fellowship church. To try to, whether it's because of what I said, I should think I'm a prophet. You know that lady said, I was angry because then in that house, she now started reporting her family problem. So for trying to win me over to Christ to go to church, now
Problem solver.
but I didn't go to that place as yes, you can just show now, let everyone.